Right now, this is available on Bitso, MoonPay, CoinMina, additional listings coming on Bullish, Mercado Bitcoin, and others. What about a huge platform like Coinbase and others, for example? When does that happen?
We are continuing to expand distribution and availability of Ripple dollars on other exchanges. So I think you can expect to see more availability, more announcements coming soon.
How soon?
Imminently.
Little bit of a tough day for financial markets. Inflation fears raging once again. But within crypto, there were some big events specific to XRP. First, we had the announcement of Chainlink integration. Now, that was a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of people's reaction to that news, but we're going to delve into what's going on. Why did they pick Chainlink? You had that iconic photo, Stuart Alderati, Brad Garlinghouse, President Trump, and you had Monica Long talking RLUSD. And there was one big statement there that I think is so important for XRP Ledger and the adoption of this new stablecoin. We'll get into it. Now, the announcement here. Ripple will be integrating Chainlink and RLUSD. They're adopting the Chainlink standard for verifiable data to fuel DeFi adoption. So I remember originally they partnered with Band, and I thought that was kind of budget. You know, it wasn't really the way you should go. No one of substance is using Band. It's been around, but Chainlink's who you go to now if you're going to do serious business. So this is a big upgrade. I'm glad to see this. Now, the community, the reaction was pretty much across the board. Ripple should have partnered with Flare Networks. Now, we're going to get into Hugo's statement on this issue, but you have to think about this from a business perspective. You want something that is proven to work, proven to be secure. You're not going to use something cutting edge for something as important as this stablecoin launch. They need to go right now. They need to have the whole, tech stack of how they're going to integrate it. And with Chainlink, you get that. You're ready to rock and roll instantly. You know exactly how to integrate it. There is no other choice here at this point in time. Future may be different. Now, further than what I just said, we see from Hugo, I'm at a loss at why this would be interesting. Ripple needs an oracle so that RLUSD can be used in lending protocols on Ethereum. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Flare doesn't provide oracles to other networks yet. It's something that may come. So, we have to always take a step back here and not pretend like Flare is the answer to all problems today. It's very early in the network's building cycle, and it's just not ready for stuff like this yet. Again, the future may be different. Hugo says we may have this ability to provide Oracle services and other chains down the road. But if you're doing something at the scale Ripple is today, you go Chainlink. That's just, there's no debate, there's no thought. And I really don't know why they even started with Band. I'm glad to see that they've upgraded the Link. That's a big one. Now, Vet says the following, because I saw people like Mr. Hubert say, oh, this is about interoperability. No, not really. Oracle provider Chainlink is providing pricing feeds for RLUSD on Ethereum, a must for DeFi protocols that RLUSD wants to enter. Chainlink is not providing pricing data on the XRP ledger right now. Doesn't mean it won't in the future, but again, their focus right now is going to be Ethereum and their use of RLUSD. I think that can change with a few more upgrades on the way to the XRP ledger, but that's just the reality of where we stand now. This is why they're doing this. They want to rock and roll with that stablecoin on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, we have this iconic photo, as I had said, Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati, Donald Trump. Why did this happen? Were they sitting here in some secret meeting planning on the future of crypto? No. Ripple made a big donation to the inauguration day, and this dinner, this photo, probably cost a couple $100,000 more per head. This is a photo op in a lot of ways. But it's still important because I'll tell you this, whether RLUSD is running on Ethereum, whether they're using Link, whether they're using Flare or not, none of that's going to matter over the next 12 months. Stuff like this is. And further, it just shows the administration is really courting the crypto industry. They have an N, and they will have his administration's ear. This is big business, and this is a symbol of what is to come. Whether this is the result of a donation, whether this is the result to what they put towards the inauguration isn't relevant. These are the players of the future, and this is an important, picture to show to dictate what 2025 will look like. This is going to be the year of a crypto-friendly administration in a big way. Monica Long, She was on Bloomberg talking RLUSD, and they said, you know what? You're on Bullish Exchange, you're on Bitso, these things. When are the big integrations coming? The Coinbase and stuff like this. And when she was really pressed on the when, she said imminently. They need that. They absolutely need RLUSD to be listed on some big US exchanges. Now, this is the issue, though. When you look at Coinbase, they want to see RLUSD just blow up in popularity? Absolutely not. You know, they're all about Circle. They're a co-owner in Circle. They want to push Circle. We saw what they did here recently with Wrapped Ethereum, where they don't want you using Wrapped Ethereum. They want you using their product on Base. This is what Ripple really needs to do. They need to land a big partnership with a U.S. exchange. I would think Robinhood would be a good candidate, or Kraken, or hopefully both. Because the problem is Robinhood may work with you now. I assume eventually they'll have their own stablecoin and you may run into the same problems. You need to partnership with a big exchange to make sure you have an inroad, a permanent inroad into the U.S. market for retail. May not be what Ripple does and why they use RLUSD, but all liquidity spends the same. Whether it's institutional liquidity, retail liquidity, you want to have easy access for everyone to this asset. And I hope what she's saying is correct, that we are going to imminently see some big listings on some big exchanges. And I would go a step farther, just like Circle did with Coinbase. They let Coinbase be, co-owner. I would let, Kraken, which they would have to kind of mend some bad blood there from the past, or Robinhood, or somebody buy into RLUSD with them to ensure long-term they are incentivized to push this crypto, to push this stablecoin, really. I think it's important for the protection going forward. All right, we have this great post. This is pointed out by Crypto Eddie, and it's this user Rocks. And they say, so what kind of DeFi protocols can actually come on the XRP Ledger ecosystem? I did a video yesterday. It'll come up at the end of this video. It'll be linked down below about how XRP Ledger may be set up really nicely for the future of DeFi if they play their cards right here. And so far, looks like they have. He says the following: we've got EVM sidechain on the way. I think he's using that a little liberally. Wouldn't say it's necessarily on the way. There's a lot of work to do there, but hopefully we get it sooner than later. Bringing smart contracts to the XRP Ledger, and it should say ecosystem really. It's not directly to the ledger. We got hooks on the ledger itself. Again, I hope it's hooks, but it's going to be some type of, light programmability. We need to have smart contracts, but probably not the same things you see on Ethereum or Solana, stuff like that. It's going to be boiled down a little bit. We've got Root Network powering bigger on-chain builds. So a lot going on around this. Lending and staking, that's coming for sure. We know that. But the key here is Axelar, and I agree. It steps up with the Ethereum XRP Ledger Bridge, currently on the testnet, aiming to go live soon. Once we have cross-chain liquidity, things change fast. This is what's so important. You have to have interesting assets, valuable assets, assets people want if they're going to use these systems. XRP Ledger is lightning fast for trading. It's fast for, sending payments, but you need more assets than just XRP and RLUSD. If we can bring over, Ethereum has many of the top 100 assets on blockchain today. If you can bring those over and get them trading on the XRP Ledger directly, that's going to add a lot of activity, a lot of TVL. This is a big deal. And Axelar, let's hope they get this thing cooking so we get those assets over and people are going to like using this system if it has the assets they want to trade for. He goes on to say, in my opinion, if the bridging, sidechains, and hooks all click into place, XRP DeFi might surprise people who wrote it off. So again, very transitionary period for the XRP Ledger, but one with a lot of promise. If they nail these things, it's going to be a beast. And from a regulatory standpoint, it might have a leg up on its competition. Cointelegraph announcing the CFTC chair is going to be stepping down on Inauguration Day. Now, he's not as bad as Gary Gensler. They were not as bad as SEC, but they definitely are not pro-crypto. It's good to get all of these people out of here. We don't have to think about them. We're going to get new reptilians that'll be at least a little more friendly to the crypto industry. This is a big one here breaking. The judge in the Coinbase case, citing conflicting rulings on crypto's legal status, has called for an appeals court review before the trial can continue. This thing ain't going nowhere. It's dead in the water. The Trump administration is just going to write it off. It's going to be gone. And that's good to see. Lastly, we see many countries will start building out their Bitcoin reserves in 2025. Let's listen to this video and we'll come back and discuss.
more and more countries using Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. We're hearing about that in Argentina. President-elect Trump has talked about the possibility of that. So will that be a key trend in this year?
It's going to start out with a Bitcoin reserve, but just like anything, it will be a basket of crypto assets. It's not just going to be XRP. I mean, not just going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be XRP, Ethereum, and other major global cryptocurrencies as this continues to develop.
Yes, I mean, if you look at Argentina, they're seriously considering it. You know, the United States, I think, is definitely moving in that direction. It's only going to make sense then if the United States goes one way. In order just to keep up with national interests, other countries are going to have to come in too. And because of that, obviously, it means that the competition for the available Bitcoins on the market are a lot more intense, and there's scarcity there. So the price is only likely to move in one direction. Then you can just push the price upwards, because there's really only, even though there's 21 million Bitcoin that'll ever be issued, there's really only 3 to 5 million that are trading at any one time. So the competition, if somebody goes out and buys 500,000 or 1 million Bitcoin, is really ratcheted up, and then you'll see the price start to move considerably.
Now they're talking about a US Bitcoin strategic reserve with 1 million additional Bitcoins. I just don't see that happening. Now he says there's 3 to 5 million trading at any given time. The higher that price goes, though, more Bitcoin will come flooding onto the market. Supply and demand, of course. But, I think this starts out with just the policy of when we seize crypto, we're going to keep it in our reserve. And from there, I think they might start adding some crypto as we continue on. I just don't see that happening in 2025 or 2026, where they actually go out and actively buy crypto for a reserve. I think it'll just be our policy. You seize it, we hold it for the long term for a crypto reserve. And from there, we can build as this thing evolves. We'll see how it plays out. I just don't imagine the U.S. government dipping into the open market and acquiring 1 million Bitcoin. I just don't see that happening, but maybe this will surprise me. And if that does, Bitcoin's going to go parabolic and everything else with it. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.